This is what we can do with the right education. It's not about social background, it's actually about understanding how different students learn differently. It's about moving from, just broadcasting things in education to actually creating, co-creating understanding in the school system. And there's some lessons that we have learned from this. As I already mentioned, it has to do with teaching few things at great depth. Rigor is about being really, really challenging to students, getting students to think actively in every moment. Focus is about teaching few things at great depth. And coherence is about actually understanding how students learn. Much of what we do in school is not constructed around how students learn, but it's constructed around how people, experts see their academic disciplines. You need to better understand how actually the brain absorbs knowledge. It's about remaining true to the disciplines, but at the same time encouraging interdisciplinary understanding. This is where value is created these days. It's about focusing on things that actually help you move forward, to apply your knowledge in novel situations. And I know, including in your country, I'm always criticized in the PISA test, for testing students with things that they haven't seen in school. Many people, many teachers say, this is a very unfair way of assessing students. Give them problems that they have not seen in the school system. But if you consider it unfair, then life is very, very unfair to you. The world no longer rewards us what we have learned in school. Authenticity. This is actually a really, really important point. When we survey primary school students, they all are enthusiastic about science. Science is their favorite subject. It's about, observing, experimenting, seeing how the world develops, understanding how the world works. When we survey them at age 15, the majority of them hate science. What has happened? We have made science a kind of boring, abstract school subject with formulas, equations, but the nature of science, the authenticity, has got lost, bringing that back, making learning more thematic, more problem-based, more project-based, more co-created. It's really part of the answer. And very important, when you think about, character qualities, resilience, curiosity, courage, leadership. They're hard to teach directly, but students learn them in school. They're not taught, they're caught. And of course, equity always comes back to this. And let me show you something on this. We surveyed teachers on this. We asked teachers about their pedagogical beliefs. And here's some answers of what teachers in Israel told us. Virtually every teacher said, my role as a teacher is to be a good coach, a good mentor, a good facilitator, a good evaluator. Very constructivist, advanced view of education, very much in line with the 2030 world I'm painting here. 88% say students learn best by finding solutions on their own. This is the 21st century. 91% say thinking and reasoning is more important than curriculum content. More or less exactly what I've just said. If teachers would just do what they say, you would have the world's best education system. But here's the other part of the story. We surveyed students actually in terms of what kind of learning strategies were prevalent in the classroom. And what we find is, in a country like Israel, actually, the most dominant learning strategy is actually memorization, which is in direct contrast to the teacher's pedagogical beliefs. Why is this a problem? Look at this chart. In the green part, I'm going to show you tasks where memorization helps you solve a problem. And in red, I'm showing you tasks where memorization actually hinders learning. And I give you a little hint, I make the red part bigger than the green part. But look, when I now order the tasks by difficulty, this is how it works. For easy tasks, memorization is quite helpful. But as the tasks become more complex, memorization is not just neutral, it's actually hindering you from solving problems. That's very, very important. It's not just neutral. It's actually something that makes it more difficult for you to solve complex problems. Why is this important? Because the world is moving from left to right very, very fast. Your smartphone does everything on the left side. Humans are needed on the right side. No? And we stop that with memorization. There's something else that is important, and that's something which Israel does really well. That's what we call control strategies. No? People, manage their learning, they set the learning goals, they persevere, and so on. So that's a really good sign, and in fact, it has positive implications on the problem-solving capacity of students. No? Those kinds of control strategies are very, very important. But you can see they help you more for the easy tasks. And when things get really complex, ambiguous, managing learning in a structured way is not good enough. In fact, what you need to be good on the right side is what we call elaboration strategy. That is out-of-the-box thinking. Connecting what you know with what you do not know, building bridges, building connections between different pieces of knowledge. That is what you can see is our best predictor for becoming successful in the 21st century. And that's more or less, when you survey teacher in your country about what they believe in education, is all about this, helping students to think on their own, making connections. Thinking skills are more important than curriculum content. But the reality looks like this. It's actually the least prevalent learning strategy in classrooms now. So aligning pedagogical beliefs with pedagogical reality is the biggest challenge. And you ask yourself, of course, what is the gap? Why does something, and I want to just show you something. Had I asked you at the beginning of this, who does more rote learning and who does least elaboration, many would have tipped on countries like China or, Korea, drill learning and so on. But actually, while we were waiting, these countries have gone through a silent revolution. They have actually changed pedagogical practice in ways that we can't imagine. You find a lot more inquiry-based, problem-based, project-based learning in those systems. They're very fast on their way, not just to get more children into school, but also to educate them in new and novel ways. The future of education is also about moving away from looking upwards in the system to your school principal or the administration or the Ministry of Education to actually looking outwards. The most impressive number about Finland is not that they do so well on the PISA test on average. The most impressive number is that there is only 5% of the performance variation between schools, about 1/10 of what we see in Israel. Every school succeeds. And that is because every school knows what every other school is doing. They actually don't do much kind of testing and standardization and so on. They build the structures that help teachers to look outwards. That has also been something that made teaching the second most attractive profession in the country. And the hardest one to get in education. If you fail to apply to teacher college in Finland, you can still apply for law and economy and all these kind of things. This has made teaching attractive. You work with a high degree of professional autonomy, but at the same time in a collaborative culture. You are connected to the profession. Let me show you some data on this. And I show you something that basically this is the different types of tasks of professional collaboration in the case of Israel. And you can see when it comes to surface collaboration, a lot is happening in schools, discussing student results, sharing resources, team conferences, communication. There's a lot that teachers do, and that's good. But when it comes to the deeper kind of collaboration that really makes a difference, teaching in teams, working in teams, cross-disciplinary learning, project-based learning is about, the history teacher working together with the math teacher, the science teacher to frame problems. Collaborative professional development looks better, but still not very strong. It's only about 40% of the teacher. Joint activities, and then think about classroom observation. I showed you this huge gap between what teachers believe they are doing or want to do and what's actually happened in the classroom. Don't blame teachers for that. Ask yourself, what opportunities do we give teachers to see their own teaching, to do self-reflections together with others? If you're a teacher in China or Singapore, you will spend at least 1 hour per week observing somebody else's classroom, working in a professional learning community in your school to actually analyze what are effective teaching practice. There is no Ministry of Education that tells you how to teach. This is your science. You have this kind of inquiry-based mindset. We cannot expect our students to become lifelong learners if they don't see their teachers to be lifelong learners, to permanently work on developing, designing new practice. In the medical field, we take this for granted, you know. Research in medicine is not done by a government or by a university. Research in medicine is done through clinical trials by practitioners. They are engaged in finding out the next frontier and working on addressing issues. And that's so important in education. And some countries are better in this already. I think all countries have to move away. But again, you know, some countries have become very good in strengthening professional collaboration in the community. This is the future of education, not something comes sort of hierarchical, but something that really looks outward. Why do I say this? Because you can see where teachers teach more jointly, where they observe more other classes, where they engage in joint activities, where they take part in collaborative learning. You can see the influence on their sense of effectiveness. Also on their sense of job satisfaction. You'll be very surprised. We see no relationship between teacher job satisfaction and the size of classes. We see almost no relationship between teacher job satisfaction and the salaries of teachers. A little bit, but not that much. The big determinant is this, is the collaborative culture that is in school. Are you respected as a professional or just, you know, as a kind of factory worker at the front line? That's the big differentiator here. In a way, you know, in other ways, we have reputational metrics that tell us a lot, that build trust between strangers. Now, that's the power of the digital economy. You know, you rent your apartment out to a total stranger. You buy something from someone who you do not know, because digital technology is building the kind of understanding. But in education, that's still a foreign world. Many teachers have very few means to look outward for their school and so on, and that's very important. Moving from administrative control and accountability, again, shifting information hierarchically, to actually ownership of professional practice. And again, technology can be a very powerful way to do this. One of the things that impressed me a lot when I was in Shanghai in 2013, they started to build a digital platform where teachers and school leaders can share their ideas, can share their projects, put things up for others to use, contribute to the profession. And the trick is that they combined that with a reputational metric. So the more other teachers download your lessons, criticize your lessons, improve your lessons, the more popular you become in the education system. And at the end of the school year, your school principal will not only ask you, how well did you teach your own children in a class, but they will ask you actually, what contribution did you make to the profession? How are you respected by your colleagues? Seeing your part as part of the bigger picture, that's really what ownership of professional practice is, and what I think a profession is really distinguishing. It's moving from prescription, telling people what to teach, how to teach, to actually moving to professional forms of work organization as well. You know, the curriculum in Finland is 40 pages. Not for mathematics, not for science, for everything. All what the curriculum does is, this is what we want students to be able to do. What you have to teach, that's up to you to figure out in your school, in your country, and that's basically something where schools need to find innovative solutions, not on their own, but working with others. Professionalism is really about focusing on the internal motivation that people have, the effort, the contribution that people make to the profession. And there are three elements that we judge to be particularly important. It has to do, of course, with the knowledge base of teachers. But again, knowledge is not about just the content knowledge. It's also knowledge about pedagogical practice. It's knowledge about your students in your class, of every of your students. Do you really know them? And it's about knowledge about how students learn and understanding that different students learn differently. It's about professional autonomy. Basically, professional autonomy is not about idiosyncrasy. It's not about I do what I want. I do what I know is right in this context because I'm a professional. And last but not least, I've talked a lot about this, it's about the collaborative culture. There's no profession that works in the kind of isolation that we have often in our school systems now. That's really what this is about. And you can see it's a big driver of the status of the teaching profession. This is really amazing. You only ask teachers, to what extent do you believe that society values you as a teacher? And you could see that depends on the degree of professionalism. If parents, if society sees teachers as reading a school book, a textbook, they're not going to respect it. If they see teachers as working as professionals, you can see respect. It's about job satisfaction. It's about satisfaction with your work environment. And it's about your sense of being an effective teacher. Things are really, really important. The last point I really want to make is that we have to move away from a world where we divide things by school subjects, students by their destinations, all these kinds of walls that we have created in education that do not exist in the real world. Again, it's about thinking across the boundaries of subject matter disciplines, and connecting the dots where the next innovation is going to come from. That's really what success these days is about. The future is integrated, and the future is not about seeing learning as a place, bringing children into the classroom, into the school. It's about understanding that learning extends from anything to anywhere in our lives. This is the last chart I'm going to show you, and it's about the power of technology. Why should students these days, learn from a textbook that was printed 2 years ago and maybe designed 5 years ago if they can have access to the world's most advanced knowledge? Pedagogy. When we think about interactive, inquiry-based pedagogies, they're very hard to do in a kind of paper-based, abstract world. Technology can, open those avenues. Virtual laboratories can give people access to actually experimentation, designing. Very important. Making feedback faster and granular. In the past, we have the world of learning here, and then we have the world of assessment. And those people who do the learning job, the teachers, always look at assessment as something, oh, they steal my learning time to do assessment. Well, the future is about integrating the world of learning and the world of assessment, making assessment a seamless part of the learning process, providing constant feedback to learners, to teachers, to educators, to everyone. And of course, it's about collaboration and knowledge creation. Think about those kinds of examples. Now, that's a theory, but the very last slide that I show you is the reality is still very different from this. On the vertical axis, you see the learning outcomes. On the horizontal axis, you see the intensity of technology use. And you can see the way we use technology in the classroom today often makes things worse, not better. A little bit of technology seems to be positive. A lot seems to be actually doing more damage than good. We have, 21st century technology. We have 20th century teaching and pedagogy, and we have a 19th century school organization, and that creates those kinds of outcomes. No? We have to be a lot more innovative and creative to actually change those kinds of paradigms. And this is why, schools like yours, the ORT network, is so important. We need innovators and game changers in education who can actually show how success can be built and how success can be built systemically. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Andreas Schleicher, for your updated challenges for the Israeli education system. ועכשיו אני מתכבדת להזמין על הבמה את שר המדע והטכנולוגיה, חבר הכנסת אופיר אקוניס. השר ביקר בהרבה בתי ספר, מכיר את התחרויות הבינלאומיות, אפשר לומר שבן בית, מחובר לתלמידים הסטארט-אפיסטים. אורט מובילים פרויקט עם רשות החדשנות, PBLIT, פרויקט פיתוח תוכנה לניהול פרויקטים של תלמידים, כ-200 תלמידי אורט, בליווי הצוות של אורט שותפים בפיתוח. השר אקוניס, בבקשה.
תודה רבה לך, יעל. תודה רבה, יעל. אני כתמיד שמח להיות כאן. לא בפעם הראשונה, בכנס החשוב מאוד הזה, שעיקרו הבסיס לחיים של כולנו, וזה חינוך. כל החיים שלנו, בסוף, מתבססים על החינוך הטוב שקיבלנו בגיל צעיר, ובנינו את דרכנו בחיים. זה בעיניי הדבר הכי חשוב. השורש הוא החינוך בבית, השורש הוא החינוך בגני הילדים, בבתי הספר, גם בתיכון, כדי שהחיים שלנו יהיו טובים יותר לנו באופן אישי ולמדינה שלנו. בעיניי החינוך הוא השורש לכל הפעילות שלנו תמיד ובכל מקום, וזה נכון שעדיין אני לא מופקד על... טוב, הרי כל דקה משתנה פה משהו, כן? אז לך תדע מה יקרה. אבל אני רואה גם במשרד המדע והטכנולוגיה, שאני עומד בראשו בשנתיים וחצי האחרונות, סוג של משרד חינוך קטן, וגם סוג של משרד חוץ קטן, ותכף תדעו למה אני מתכוון כאשר אני אציג בפניכם. ביקשו ממני 7 דקות. עכשיו 7 דקות, אפילו בכנסת לשר יש זמן בלתי מוגבל, אז אני אעשה את זה, אני אשתדל מאוד לעשות את זה טלגרפית. תראו, זהו הגרף של תקציב משרד המדע של מדינת ישראל. עכשיו אני רוצה להגיד לכם משהו. אני ב-2010 הייתי יושב ראש ועדת הכלכלה, לא הייתי שר בממשלה. אני חושב שהתקציב בשנת 2010 וגם בשנת 2011 הוא מביש. זה התקציב של המשרד אשר מופקד אני הייתי אומר, על הפלא הזה ששמו ישראל כמעצמת מדע וטכנולוגיה, אבל אנחנו רואים ברוך השם שיפור תמידי בשנים האחרונות, ואני גאה ושמח שבשלוש השנים שבהן אני מופקד על המשרד, הגרף האדום הזה מזנק למעלה. זה לא מספיק, יושבים כאן אנשי עסקים שעשו, ברוך השם, הצלחות גדולות מאוד בתחום העסקי, הכלכלי, של היזמות הפרטית, שהיא חשובה לא פחות. אנחנו מתחילים להשתפר, אבל גם זה עוד לא מספיק, ואני מקווה שבשנים הבאות עוד נגדיל עוד את התקציב. למה אנחנו צריכים אותו בכלל? בשביל מה צריך להגדיל את תקציב משרד המדע? ועם יד על הלב תשאלו את עצמכם, עם יד על הלב, מה בכלל הוא עושה המשרד הזה? ולמה צריך אותו? ובכן אני אסביר לכם. סביב המגן דוד הללו ישנן שלל פעילויות עם מספרים לא רעים בכלל של ישראלים וישראליות אשר משתתפים ומשתתפות בפעילויות שלנו, שמטרתן, כפי שאתם רואים למעלה, הנגשת המדע לאזרחי ישראל. אני הצבתי 2 יעדים עם כניסתי לתפקיד שר המדע. היעד הראשון הוא להנגיש את הפלא הזה ששמו מדע וטכנולוגיה לכל אזרחי ישראל באשר הם, מקצרין וקריית שמונה שבצפון, ששם אנחנו תומכים במרכזי מופ בסכומי שיא של כל הזמנים, עד אילת שבדרום, ובתווך כמובן כל מה שנמצא, ואלה הן הפעילויות. ליל המדענים, הסיורים במוזיאונים, תוכנית להבה, יום המדע, שבוע החלל, קייטנות מדע, חוגי מדע, כל הדברים האלה הן פעילויות בחינם לכל אזרחי ישראל, ואני רואה את הילדים הקטנים, עם ההורים, עם הסבא והסבתא, באים לאירועים ופשוט מרגישים באופן מוחשי, נחשפים למדע, טכנולוגיה וחדשנות, לסייבר ולרובוטיקה, ורבים מהם אחר כך מוצאים את עצמם תלמידים מצטיינים יפים ונפלאים ברשת אורט, שבכמה מבתי הספר, כפי שאמרה יעל, ביקרתי בשנה האחרונה. החלטנו, בתפיסתי, הממשלה לא צריכה להתערב כל הזמן בכל דבר. אנחנו נתנו את ההזדמנות לראשי הרשויות המקומיות להחליט בעצמם מה הם רוצים לעשות עם הכסף של הממשלה, של תקציב משרד המדע, ולכן השקנו את תוכנית סל המדע. בתוכנית סל המדע אתם רואים את כל היישובים הללו על מפת ארץ ישראל, בעצם רוב הרשויות המקומיות היהודיות, הערביות, של יישובים חילוניים, של יישובים דתיים, של יישובים בצפון ובדרום, בשומרון וביהודה, במישור החוף ובנגב, משתתפים יהודים ערבים, כולם בתוכנית הזאת, ובעצם אנחנו מעבירים להם את הכסף כדי שתקיימנה הרשויות המקומיות בעצמן את הפעילויות בתחומי מדע וטכנולוגיה. זה נקרא סל המדע, והוא הולך וצובר תאוצה משנה לשנה. במיזם הזה אני גאה מאוד. קייטנות המדע שלנו. תמיד מתלוננים שהמחירים של... קודם כל, לצערי, בדרך כלל מתלוננים, אבל גם על זה מתלוננים. לא על זה קייטנות המדע, אלא על הכסף הרב שצריך לשלם עבור השתתפות בקייטנות קיץ. אז אנחנו עשינו את הדבר הבא. אנחנו יוזמים את קייטנות הקיץ של משרד המדע. הן מסובסדות. כל משפחה צריכה לשלם רק 80 שקלים לילד לשבוע שלם של השתתפות בקייטנות המדע הללו. תראו בעצם קודם כל אנחנו הכפלנו, או יותר מהכפלנו, את התקציב, משום שהביקושים בקיץ האחרון של שנת 2017 היו אדירים. נגיד נתנו בנהריה, כן, דוגמה, יש פה אנשים מנהריה, סביר. נתנו בנהריה 4 מחזורים. מתקשר אליי ראש העיר, כפי שהתקשרו מערים רבות נוספות, והוא מבקש עוד ועוד ועוד מחזורים לקיום קייטנות המדע שלנו, שבוע שלם תוספתי לקייטנות המדע של משרד החינוך, ושם כמובן העיסוק הוא ברובוטיקה, בסייבר, בחלל, במדעים מדויקים, וההשתתפות היא גדולה מאוד בכל רחבי הארץ, ואתם רואים כמובן גם כאן הגרף האדום הוא גרף עולה. אני אמרתי לצוות שלי במשרד המדע, גם לצוות האישי שלי וגם לאנשי משרד המדע, יש שיר מאוד מפורסם שאני מאוד אוהב, מסוף שנות ה-80, קוראים לו The Only Way is Up. זה הכל, רק למעלה, כל הזמן הולכים ועולים, מוסיפים תקציבים. הוספת תקציבים, המשמעות שלהם היא כמובן עוד ילדים, עוד ישראלים שנחשפים למדע ולטכנולוגיה שלנו. אלה הן תוכניות המצוינות שלנו, אתם ודאי מכירים אותם, גם חלק מן העבודה המשותפת, מדעניות העתיד, החונכות ללימודי מדעים, אתם ודאי מכירים את פרח, בפרח בעצם תלמידים, בעצם סטודנטים שמעבירים מיזמי חונכות לתלמידים, מקבלים, אני לא יודע כמה מקבלים בפרח של משרד החינוך, אצלנו מקבלים את סכום השיא של חונכויות, 9,000 שקלים לסטודנט או סטודנטית צעירה, זה לא עניין של מה בכך. האמת ש9,000 שקלים זה כמעט שכר לימוד לשנה באוניברסיטה הציבורית, לא במכללות הפרטיות כמובן. כדי שאנחנו נעודד עוד רשויות ועוד אזרחים ואזרחיות ממדינת ישראל להשתתף במיזמים שלנו, השקנו את פרס, עדיין אנחנו לא הכרזנו על הזוכים, משום שזהו דבר חדש, פרס שר המדע לרשויות מצטיינות, ויש רשויות רבות שאנחנו נצטרך לבחור על פי קריטריונים של ועדה מקצועית שהקמתי, מי הן הרשויות שתקבלנה את פרס שר המדע. זה היעד השני. אני הכרזתי, אמרתי לכם גם בתחילת המפגש הבוקר, עכשיו, שאני הכרזתי